Hello Ross.
How are we?
Good, thank you, very well. This is a bit of a rarity, actually. Not only is this the first ever Glengoyne we've reviewed on the channel, but this is a bottle from my own personal collection.
Very generous.
Bought with my own hard-earned cash, which I've kindly donated to the Bevvy cause.
I'm looking forward to
So you're very
this.
welcome.
Yeah, this Glengoyne, I'm surprised it's the first Glengoyne we've ever done. Because
Love it.
Yeah, it's a whiskey that I've been around my entire time in whiskey, and I'm sure it's the same with you. This obviously doesn't look like a Glengoyne in terms of their core range products, because normally it's much darker, more mahogany.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier, and I know Glengoyne is famous for being sherried a lot of the time. But for me, the main thing with Glengoyne is the spirit.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is that they do things very slowly. And it's smooth and it's well-rounded and they take their time and it's patience and all that sort of stuff. So my thing is that the spirit's always, it's never harsh, it's never spirity, and it does go very well with sherry.
It's a disgrace that I've never visited, because it's one of the most...
it's like 2 minutes away.
Yeah, it's like one of the most visited visitor centres in Scotland, right in that cusp of Highlands and Lowlands.
Yeah.
The White Oak, they released in 2024, along with a White Oak 24-year-old as well.
Okay.
I've tried them both, and I was really impressed. So this is also rare that I've had the whiskey before, and I was speaking to you about it. I said, you just need to try this because it is so different. Bottled at 48% as well. Really good drinking strength for Glengoyne.
Yep, very much so. White oak is basically just American oak, isn't it? So is it virgin oak and
and bourbon barrels. And of course they are using American oak in almost everything they do. They're just using a lot of oloroso finishes. But this one's something a bit different. Quite affordable as well.
Yeah, I think it's about 55, maybe £60 or so, which maybe a few years back you think that's pricey for
a non-age statement.
A non-age
whiskey.
statement, but it's kind of become the norm. These days, I think the generous strength does make up for it. I have heard lots of good things about it, so I'm feeling positive, feeling confident this is going to be, maybe not change my life dram, but it's going to be very pleasant and easy to
I think it's a great one to have in your back bar. We'll get it open, have a little taste. But with Glengoyne's, I do normally think of, we've had plenty of Macallan, etc. on the channel. Glengoyne was always a slightly more affordable, but same style, rich and full-bodied, and I think it does really well internationally now. But this one, quite different. It looks brilliant. I bet the bottle looks really, really good.
The rebrand they've done recently is very, very good.
And Ian McLeod in general, I'm a big Tamdhu fan, as you know, and obviously they've got Rosebank now as well. They seem to be doing some really,
Edinburgh
really
Gin
exciting
as well,
stuff.
Which is kind of a refurb and is looking great. So, yeah, some very classy brands in their stable.
And established. Considering they got Tamdhu from Edrington, Glengoyne is such a well-known malt in Scotland. What's the nose picking up for you?
Fresh and sweet, which is kind of what I suspected. My concern was it was going to be super sweet, maybe retro confectionery, favourites, but it's not too kind of sickly. It's not got that artificial thing to it.
No, there's citrus there. Yeah. There's malty notes, citrus. It has a classic bourbon feel to it. Interestingly, it would be hard for me to put an age on it just from the nose.
I'd also struggle to put 48% on it as well. Smells very, very approachable.
Let's have a little taste.
Yeah, it smells great.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And the back of the palate, the front of the palate are quite separated. So clean and fresh, so lively.
It's a classic Glengoyne finish, isn't it? It's never sharp, it's never spirity. You rarely get that burn, even at this slightly higher strength. It's just smooth, and you can tell it's been distilled slowly, which is maybe something that's already in my head, because that's something they're very big on at the distillery. But
how often do we have whiskies that are so cask orientated? And I would say the headline of this whiskey is different casks. But the fact that you're still getting the spirit as being the key feature for you, it says a lot about the Glengoyne and what they're doing.
With white oak expressions, there's no hiding place, really. Particularly for a completely unpeated malt like Glengoyne. If it's big sherry, spirit can sometimes be a bit ropey and it's still tasty. If it's heavily peated, if you like that flavour profile, you're going to enjoy it. Even if it's quite young and spirity. But this is clean and very pure.
It's quite interesting having tried this one and the 24-year-old they released. I prefer the non-age statement.
Okay. Is the older one just a bit too...
It's
woody,
still
knackered?
It's still nice and sweet, but it is more oaky, more oak led. Whereas I thought not only bang for buck, I was buying this in the pub when it came out almost every other week.
Very good.
It's just brilliant, and it's not what I expected when I normally pick up a
This would
Glengoyne.
also be a great dram. People who aren't really into whiskey, block of ice or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Totally.
spot on.
This is a great gateway whiskey, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it's great. I'm actually delighted I bought this myself.
Thanks
I know
for bringing
it's
it in.
quite big drams. It's like, thanks,
But
mate.
it's the only one you're going to give me, but what a pleasure to share it with you, and what a pleasure to try
I was slightly
something new from them.
I feel like you're always slightly nervous opening a bottle that you've bought that you've not tried before, but I'm for 55, 60 quid, very, very happy with that indeed.
And quite exciting to see where they'll go with this range as well.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bevvy content. We want to hear what you think, your best whiskey experiences, the whiskies you want us to try. It's a really exciting journey we're on, so make sure to join us. Download the Bevvy app on Google Play and App Store to keep track of your whiskey journey, connect with your whiskey friends, keep track of your favourites, anything you could ever want to do with whiskey, all in one place. It's the definitive whiskey companion.